Let's break down what the casting couch is because there's a lot of people who are unfamiliar and don't really know what it actually is. And I'm not talking them XXX rated videos, but in Hollywood, apparently, that's what winds up happening. Here's how they get you. How did we get here? Life ain't as easy as people thought it was. These are for the people who didn't listen. When their parents told them, don't be outside, don't eat that lollipop like that, don't eat that icy like that in front of them, don't speak to no men. These are for those people who decided that they were not going to listen. This is how you wind up getting caught up because you don't want to take the regular trajectory. You want to go in a different direction, which I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I'm a person who advocates for people moving into move at their own drum. You feel me? If they feel they want to go left, they go left. If they feel they want to go right, they go right. I'm all for that. I'm all for that. But what I'm also for is cause and effect. People tell you certain things so that you don't get yourself in the situation so that you can't get out of or you get into a gray area. Because if you got into that gray area, you clearly crossed the line at some point. You clearly did. It only gets gray when the line is crossed. Let's really think about that, people. Anyways, who are people most likely to be recruited for this? Think about it. It's always these broke people. You know what I mean? They try to recruit these hostesses, these waitresses. You know what I mean? They try to give them a perspective that they're going to change their situation. You know, people like them IG thoughts, them bartenders, the masseuses. Like, let's be real, people. There be masseuses that be charging $5,000. What the hell you think the $5,000 is for? They got booking fees, bro. They charging booking fees. What do you think the extra money for the booking fee is for? You know what I mean? Them fake nurses. You know, them CNAs, them bedpan people. Yeah, them. You got to watch out for them. Personal trainers. You know, areas where you'll find ugly people. Ugly people that you tell them what they want to hear and then they feel like they look better than everybody else. And I'm sorry that got to be so harsh, but this is how they get caught up. Wind up on that casting couch. They were already forewarned by adults as kids. Don't sit on that man's lap. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Don't be alone with that family member, that certain family member that y'all know is on that BS. Let's be real. Let's be real. This all happens because y'all get the lack of attention. Nobody's paying attention to you. You don't feel love. You want that rich lifestyle that you've been promised because you've been listening to that music, thinking that everything they say is true. Not knowing that they just all getting loans, leveraging their credit so that they look better than the next. And then tricking you into believing that the City Girls is up 1,000. Think about that. Think about that. You think everything is better on the other side. You think that you got everything set up. So this is how it happens. They meet the victim at their employment. Like, this is the way I see it. I don't know how y'all gonna see it. This is the way I see it happening. And I can see how people be getting caught up. They meet the victim at their employment. You know what I mean? They take them, speak about them, try to convince them. The person comes out and be like, oh, I'm a singer, or I'm a reporter, or I'm this and I'm an that, and I'm trying to be a model. They're like, yeah, I can help you out. Victim agrees to hang out with them. Show off their talents, quote unquote. You know what I mean? They only agree to hang out with them with the intent to take their money in some type of way, fashion, whether it's a record deal, take their money in a record deal, get one, or take their money, the 304 way, as they be saying these days. Victim gets invited to the party. It's going to change your career, push your career further. That's what they're told. Then they get into a situation where they're receiving these gifts, but then they realize that they're in uncomfortable situations where people are making certain advances on them. And they don't know what to do. They freeze up, unfortunately. And it's sad, but it's unfortunate. They freeze up because they're scared of losing the influence of the person who brought them to the party. And, I completely understand that. And we got to honestly have these conversations and completely understand what these people are going through, men and women. Because they signed themselves up for this without knowing they're signing themselves up for this. You know what I mean? And then the person who's considered a predator is not really a predator. It's just he's running game or she's running game. And it's an unfortunate, dirty game. Something I would never do. But when you reverse engineer this whole thing, this is what you come up with. So yeah, the victim get into these uncomfortable situations. They make these advances on the victim. The victim freezes up because she or he don't know what to do in the situation. Then after they do it, their career moves along a little bit further. If they do it properly, it moves on really far. If they do it, but they don't do it properly, then I guess it all fizzles out. And then that's when you get the situations where people are coming out saying that this person did this to me and everybody's saying that they didn't do it to them, but everybody know that they did do it to them. They do receive some type of gift, some type of payment, though, typically. And then guess what happened? These particular victims, they continuously keep going back. Why? Because of Stockholm Syndrome. They've been abused. They got a taste of that rich life, even though they got their ass whooped, even though they got choked out, beat up, whatever the situation is, plundered. Oh, painful. No matter the situation, these things happen. And we need to start addressing why these things happen. It happens. Why? Because half these people ain't got values. Let's be real. And this is where the part where people be like, oh, you're victim blaming. Nah. They ain't got values. We need to normalize being an old head because old heads got values. These new breed, they ain't got no values. They get up, they get the money, then all of a sudden they get survivor's remorse buyer's remorse. After they get done dirty, even though they were trying to do the other person dirty by taking their money in any type of way. Like, we got to start calling a spade, people. There's a lot of people out there trying to play victim. They put themselves in situations, then try to play victim to make even more money, even though they know the situation. Hey, friends, are you forgetting the most important thing? Who you represent? Who are you there to support? Who is in your corner? Are you there for the God or are you there for the devil? Because if you're there for God, make sure you download Bible Gateway. This is somewhere where you can get the Bible on the move, where you can either read it yourself or highlight passages, or you can do my favorite thing, which is listen to the audio book of the Bible. Catch any verse any time of the day at Bible Gateway. Download the app. I got an honest question for you all. When are all these bad boy artists going to go to jail? The ones that knew certain things were going on, and now they're admitting to knowing these things were going on and like trying to make a buck off of it. You know what I mean? When you do things like, or you say things like Mark Curry talking about, oh, we knew that the bottles, that the pills was in the drinks was spiked, like the juices, not the actual alcohol, or it was a culture, Like, where do you get off being able to come out and say these things? Where do you get off thinking that you are high and mighty above everybody else who was there and acting like you playing dumb? Like, it's not right. It's not right. We in the era of the truth. And the truth is that most of these bad boy artists who were men knew exactly what they were doing to these women. If y'all putting stuff in the juices and say the girl be like, oh no, I'm not trying to drink, you know what I mean? I'll take some juice though. They take the juice, all of a sudden they wind up no clothes on a rooftop. That's crazy. And that's just a hypothetical situation. That's just a hypothetical situation. But this man legit got on a TV show. Mr. Mark Curry, the rapper, you know, Bad Boys for Life, and legit got up there and said, oh yeah, there was bottles of alcohol and then there was regular bottles with juice. And they used to put things in the juice. But you never said anything, sir. Why are you not in jail? Why are these other people not in jail? This reminds me of the R. Kelly situation where all these people was telling on R. Kelly this, that, and the third, but then they didn't go to jail. This is crazy. Apparently, if you got the money, you can avoid anything. You know what I mean? These people on the casting couch, this, that, and the third. I always tell people, yo, you always got an option. You always got an option. Prime example, Taraji Henson. I mean, you don't even get the benefit of the middle initial. Taraji Henson. I'm from Maryland. Yeah, she put on for Maryland. But the main thing that Taraji does that a lot of Marylanders do, they don't know their price half the time. They'll take anything for the cause. My whole thing is your price is your price. Now, she talking about she in a situation where people only offer her a certain amount of money and she feels like she's being severely underpaid. Talking about making a percent of what Brad Pitt made. You ain't Brad Pitt. You ain't the star of a movie. You're not the exact center point star most lines in the movie. Now, before making this video, I did see one of her scenes. And I ain't gonna lie. She, you know what I mean? She brought a little tear to the eye. She brought a tear to the eye. But if you got that type of talent, why are you taking pay cuts? Why isn't your price your price? Oh, because you want to be around the Oprahs. You want to be around the Tyler Perrys. You want to be around all those type of people, the money. A wise person said something to me one time. I was working at this place. It was at a gym. I was so excited to be there. Everything looked amazing in the gym. It was like state of the art. It's easy job, sweet cake job. This man said to me, you know, this place looks good, but PeaCoat can't put it in your pocket and take it home with you. I didn't let it resonate. My whole point of being there was just to be around other people so I can build my brand and, like, you know, upscale what I had going on professionally. But when he said that to me, I was like, all right, cool. What are you taking home? You work somewhere for a long time. You need something to walk away with. You know what I mean? If you felt like you didn't get the money that you were supposed to get, you need some things to walk away with. It should be in your contract. Should be negotiated. But what kills me about these type of people, Miss Henson, is that when Monique was speaking, they was quiet. Is that when Monique was speaking, everybody was throwing the arrows at her, but when Taraji said they love her. So the dark-skinned woman, when she speak up and say, oh, she's just complaining. But the red bone woman or light-skinned woman, when she speak up, is like, oh, we need to change something. Oh, we need to negotiate. Oh, we can all rally behind her because she's not difficult. Monique's difficult because she know the amount that she should be getting. Taraji's not difficult because she don't know the number she's supposed to be getting. I mean, this is what y'all dealing with, people. And I'm just gonna say this to y'all, the working folk, people at home. If you sitting at home and you go to work every day and all that good stuff, and you getting paid, and you're unhappy with the amount that you are getting paid, ask for a raise or leave. You're either going to have to ask for that raise or leave. And more than likely, leave is going to be the thing because they're probably going to try to pay you to stay if you're good at what you do. But if you're unhappy with it, before you get that job, you should have a begin goal and an end goal, which you should walk away with. If you get a job and you don't have a car, by the end time you leave that job, you better be driving away on some wheels. Point blank, period. If you get a job and it pays well, by the end goal, you better be, what do they say? Getting ready to put that down payment down on your house. Like, if all things are going well, nobody complains. But when things are not going well and confusion is involved because you didn't ask the amount that you were supposed to be paid, you never spoke up on your own behalf, how do you expect the employer to act? They not into giving money away. You got to go and take that from them. Not physically, because physically you'll go to jail. But you got to get out there and go take that from them. Hey, friends, are you forgetting the most important thing? Who you represent. Who are you there to support? Who is in your corner? Are you there for the God or are you there for the devil? Because if you're there for God, make sure you download Bible Gateway. This is somewhere where you can get the Bible on the move, where you can either read it yourself or highlight passages, or you can do my favorite thing, which is listen to the audio book of the Bible. Catch any verse any time of the day at Bible Gateway. Download the app. Y'all know about it. Hannah Payne. Let's talk about it. This woman effectively was elusive with avoiding the inevitable, but the inevitable actually happened. Apparently, there was a road rage incident that went down. Yeah, a road rage incident. But let's start from the beginning of the story. Two individuals are involved in, we could say, a close collision. Allegedly. Miss Payne, from a distance, sees one of the individuals attempt to leave the scene. Miss Payne then chases down said individual and decides that they're going to, I don't know, put hands on him. She drives up real close, pulls up to his driver's side, pins him in, get out, start putting hands on him. Bink, 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 bink. Then after that, pulls out the strap. Get the strap, shawty. She pulled out the strap. Bang, 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 bang. I don't know how many times, but she let it off. She let it off. And when she was done, the gentleman had passed away. Now, most people will see the story and make it a race issue. We done with that. On this channel, the Maryland Melatonin Network, we don't deal with race issues. We deal with what's good for God's people. And we are God's people. With that being said, this woman legit ran down, put mitts on the man, then pulled out a gun and then popped him. Now, some people would say the gentleman was having a diabetic episode. That's what they're going with. Whatever. It's not if I believe it or if I don't believe it. Because I do have a family member who one time he was driving his car and he had like a little accident where I don't know what happened. He had a seizure in the middle while he was driving. He wound up hitting somebody. He had to go spend jail time. So even though he had that diabetic issue, I'm not sure if he would have been spending jail time himself anyway. But back to the lady. She extended her time 4 years. So she got to live, be comfortable, you know what I mean? Eat good food, you know what I mean? Not be on severe lockdown until now. All I'm going to say is when situations arise, people, we got to understand something. When situations arise, because this whole thing could have been avoided. When situations arise, we need to understand that we got to use our right brain. You know what I mean? Don't use what you seen on Love and Hip Hop, allegedly. Don't use what you seen on MTV growing up. Don't use none of that. Don't even use what you seen on cartoons. Use what your grandmother told you to use. Your right brain, common sense. And again, common sense is becoming a skill now. You guys got to develop these skills. Because if you don't, you're going to wind up like Hannah Payne. Hey, friends, are you forgetting the most important thing? Who you represent. Who are you there to support? Who is in your corner? Are you there for the God or are you there for the devil? Because if you're there for God, make sure you download Bible Gateway. This is somewhere where you can get the Bible on the move, where you can either read it yourself or highlight passages, or you can do my favorite thing, which is listen to the audio book of the Bible. Catch any verse any time of the day at Bible Gateway. Download the app. I'm not sure if y'all know. Y'all know what's getting out of control? Imagine you're a truck driver and you're always on the road. You decide to park your truck when you get home because you got a couple of days off before you got to put up that next load and drive all the way back down to a city like Jacksonville from New York. You go outside to go and warm the truck up so that y'all can get moving and you can go start making that sweet moolah today. Guess what? Someone's living in the back of your trailer. What do you do at that point? What can you do? You can call the police, but then the police don't do anything because they're squatters. Apparently, that's what's happening in New York. And I'm sure it's happening all over the United States in situations where the migrants have overpopulated the area and has changed the economy for the worse. And PeaCoat, you'd be like, PeaCoat, what you mean change the economy for the worse? This is what I mean change the economy for the worse. The people who were at the bottom are continually being stuck at the bottom. Like in a situation in New York, I think they were paying like $500 a day for them to stay in hotels. Think about that. They would never do that for your broke ass. They would never do that for your broke ass. You be struggling month to month trying to figure out which bill you going to pay and which one you not going to pay. But for them, they'll give them $5,000 and I think 2 G's every month. Now imagine if they collecting this money and they just stacking. And then they passing laws in New York saying that they can remove people from their homes. They passed a law in New York saying that they can remove people from their homes if they determine it's a quarantine area. This is crazy, right? Allegedly. This is crazy. Well, this gentleman, I'm not going to play his video because you know what I mean? I'm trying to build my own platform. But this gentleman, he came out to his joint and he said that they living in there. You got people with, what are those, Chanel sandals? Nike flip-flops? Puma flip-flops? Like living good. I guess that's the poor brands. That told me I should never buy any of them brands again. None of them. Those got to be the poor brands. The poor brands. I'm telling y'all. And they got us convinced to buy them every chance that we get and this, that, and the third. But anyways, they had kids. In the back of the trailer. Had the nerve to be grown adults in the back of somebody else's trailer. I'm not gonna lie. If somebody was messing with my money the way that they messing with people's money, there would have to be some type of what Pooh Shiesty say? Get it back in blood. Like y'all gonna pay me one way or another. Either they can run that fade and get off my truck, or Because that whole calling the police thing, that don't work. That don't work in these situations. Because now they become official squatters, meaning they squatting. They're not leaving. What would y'all do in this situation? Let me know in the comments.